What is going on, internet? Welcome to my channel and welcome to my weekly design training where I share tips that you hardly hear from design school. All right, so I have this design I received from a designer. I'm going to share what is working and what is not working in the design, and also I'm going to recreate the project so you guys can learn and know how to think as a designer. So without any further ado, let's start. So this is one of the design I received from a designer, and I'm going to share what is working here and what is not working. All right, so this project here is not successful, and the reason why the project is not successful is because there's too many things calling for attention at the same time. And most time, what mostly make these too many things calling for attention at the same time is when we make the elements, like we make almost all the elements share similar size in our project. Working this way is not going to help our design. As a designer, our job is to simplify the elements, make it simple for the viewers to find it easy to access the information in the project in a sequential form. There should be something that the audience need to see first, second, third, and last, and like that. But when you make everything too big, you are going to affect the success of the project. And I think that's what this designer did here. And then the other thing I noticed that did not really help the project here is the use of elements that are not necessary. And I'm saying this because of this bubble effect that we have here. This bubble effect are not really necessary. Watch what's going to happen if I take them out. You see that as we don't have them anymore in the project, it makes the project a bit calm. The other thing that really affected the project is the too much of contrast. Now, when I say contrast, I'm talking of the difference between two things. All right. Now, here we have too many things shouting, and I'm saying this because of the way the designer did not pay attention to the use of value. I'm talking of the part of the color now. There's also the contrast part of color in graphic design. You're not paying attention to the value can affect the success of your design, and that's what this designer did not do well here. Now, the contrast part I'm referring to is, if you look at the background, like the back of the character here, you notice that there's this white glue effect behind it. And also, we now have the white outfit on the character. You see, the color, the content on the character is also part of the project. And I think this is one area where most designers still don't understand. We always think, okay, when we're using illustration in our project, the color on the illustration is not part of the project. The color we add to the project, they are the colors that need to be in the project, or they are the colors in the project. Every element, every content, anything in your illustration is also part of your project. So whenever you're using illustration in your project, see how you can create contrast with the content on your illustration. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this right in this video. All right, so let's quickly recreate this, and I'm going to share my process with you. So I'm going to create a new document. I'll click on File, and I'm going to select New. So I'll make my frame size with 1000 by 1000 because that's the same frame I think the designer used here. So I'm going to make my resolution 72 because I'm not printing this. All right. So I'm going to click on the Create button. Now, there's something I noticed when I received this project. All right. You see, when you are using images in your project, please, there's also the part of paying attention to details, most especially in the area of cropping the image. if you look at the head of this character here, you see we have this effect, like this color effect on the hair. And this really made it look like we just cut out this person from a paper and paste it in the project. So I decided to recrop the image and take out those effects from the hair so that by the time I place it in my project, it's going to blend and also help the success of my project. Now, simple moves like this can destroy your project if you don't pay attention to them. Okay, so here is the picture of the character we're going to use. So I'm going to drag the image and drop here into my frame, and I'm going to activate free transform with Ctrl T, and I'll hold on Alt and scale this down, and this should be somewhere here for now. Just position the guy here. All right, now it's time for us to now create our background. Now, when you download or when you have illustration you're using in your project, please see how you can achieve contrast with the background and the illustration. So here we have the outfit of our character looking bright. So our background should be darker in order to help the contrast in project and project our illustration right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go to the internet and look for a picture, an image of a laundry factory. So I was able to get this, and I'll tell you guys why I decided to use this image. So I'll convert it to a smart object because I don't want to lose the quality of the image while I scale the image. So I'm going to move this here and hold on Alt and scale this down. Now, the reason why I decided to use this image is because of the texture that we have in the image. I'm talking of the pipes that we have in the image with all these frames in the image. So this is going to give life to the background, and that's the reason why I decided to download this image or to use this image in the project. So I'm going to make this big like that. All right, and then the next thing I'm going to do is, because right now we can't place our content on the background. All right, and in fact right now the background is not serving as a background, it's serving as a foreground because you can easily see the information, the details in the image. So what we're gonna do now is to turn down the visibility on that image so as to convert the image to a background. So I'm going to change the layer of the image to background, and that's another thing I notice most designers don't know. Always make your image serve, always make your background image serve as a background. So I'm going to activate gradient map, and right now I'm going to make sure that I'm on the thumbnail of the gradient map because I'm going to be sampling color from my character here. Now the sampling color from the character is also part of how you create unity in your project, making having a touch of color from your illustration in your background is also part of how you create unity. Now there are times where you need to now use colors that are opposite the color on your character and on the color wheel, but for this tutorial I'm going to stick to the color I have on the character to create unity here. Now it's not compulsory you do this. All right, there are times where you need to use the opposite color. I hope somebody get that. All right, so I'm going to select the thumbnail of the gradient map now, because if I don't do that I won't be able to pick color from the outfit of my character. So I'm going to select the very first slider here and pick the darker part on the outfit, and then I'm going to go again by clicking on the highlight part on the slider and pick the bright, or let's say the mid-tone part of the outfit of my character. Then I'm going to hit the OK button. Now, as you can see, I'm sure you guys noticed that we can easily see the outfit of the character and also the character. And the other thing I was trying to make you guys understand on the hair, you notice we don't have that effect anymore on the hair, and this really make the image of our character here look perfect for the project. Now the other thing I'm going to do now is I'm still going to dial down the background a bit because I know I'm still going to be adding information to the project. So I'm going to use curve to do this. So I'm going to activate curve on my adjustment tab here. So if you're using Photoshop and you can't find your adjustment tab, simply go to Windows and activate it here. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this down a bit because I really want to make my subject here really visible. And also I know I'm going to be adding other information to the project. So I'm going to make this darker like that, and this is better. So why this project is looking like, yes, there's life in it now, is because of the, the effects on the background. I'm talking of a texture. All right. So yeah. So what I'm going to do now is, I know I'm going to be adding other stuff to this. So I'm going to create another layer, and I'm going to call this layer info bg. All right. So this is where I'm going to add my other information. So I'll hold on Alt and sample the darker part of the uh, background, and then I'm going to apply my brush to the project or to the layer like that, because yeah, I know that I'm going to add something to that area. Now you notice as we're making this move, our subject is now, looking more visible to the eye compared to how we have it here on the in the original design. All right, so let's go back. So this is where we are, and let's start adding the other information to the project. So I already have it typed out here, so I'll copy the very first information, and I'm going to paste that somewhere here. So I'll use the type tool and hit Control V, and I'm going to hit Control A and change the color of this to white first. I'm a fan of starting with white color, and I'm going to use a title case for this, and I'm going to adjust the tracking. All right, because I know that I don't really have space for the title, and I want to make the title bigger. So I'm going to close the space between the letters so that I'll be able to place the title where I want it, and also make it bigger to the level I want it. Because the bigger you make your title, the more, that's the high level of hierarchy is going to take in your project. Okay, so I'm going to move this down to this side here. All right, then I think this, my character here is still big, so I'm still going to make him a bit smaller and move him more to this side here. All right, because yeah, I really want to help my viewers to quickly see the message. So I'm going to hit Control T and make this bigger like so, and this should be somewhere here. Beautiful. So then I'm going to copy the other information, so hit Control C, and I'll paste this here. All right, and activate the filters from, make this smaller, and this should come to this side here. And because I already have the bold character here, I'm going to use a medium size character, all right, to create contrast where I have the title. And I'm going to add tracking to this. Okay, I'm going to add space between the letters like that, right? Yeah, because I really want people to see that information. So okay, so we're clear. Okay, we're not clear yet. I still need to do one more thing. I'm gonna adjust the leading of the title here, and also adjust the tracker. Right now, let's see. We're gonna move this up a bit and make sure your contents are well aligned. So I shift selected the two layers and make sure everything is well aligned. So what I'll do is I'm still going to make this a bit smaller because there's this space I want here, all right, between the character and my information here. Or let's just move this down a bit to this side, and I'm going to copy the venue, all right, and I'm still going to use the same character, So I'll hit Control V to paste it. And I'm going to use Monstrats. Yeah, that's the character I'm using. So I'll use Monstrats medium. Again, let's use medium. Good. And I'll make this smaller. Okay, I think that's too small. So I'll activate the free transform and just that and move this here. So I'm going to allow space between the title and the venue. And the idea behind that is to make proximity do its thing in the project. All right. Help my viewers know that the venue and the title are not together. All right. So proximity is also very important in graphic design. Okay. So I'll make this 24. Good. So I'm still going to adjust the tracking. Leading, excuse me. Then I'll make this side bolder. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I know the venue is going to stand alone. So I'm also going to create contrast on the venue. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to adjust this. Okay, you know what? Let's change this from medium to light. The other thing is to put the services. All right, so I'll copy that and I am going to paste that here. Right, still on the same character. I'm going to change this from cap to sentence case, and I think this should be a bit bigger. Yeah, and I'll make this bold. Yep, this should be bolder. And this should come down because I know I'm still going to add the other services to that part there. So I'm going to make this smaller and make this also smaller. All right. Yeah. Then let's see what else we still need to do here. So I think this is too big. So I'll make it 14. Let's just make it 14. I think 14 is too small. Let's do 16. Good. Then I'm gonna adjust the space between the leading. I'm talking of the space between the rows. All right. Yeah. So this is better. Let's copy the contacts and I'll paste that here. All right. So for the contacts, I'll make that bigger. All right, because I really want to make the viewers, all right, find it easy to access the information on the project. So one of the ways you can make your project look dynamic is to play with scale in your project, and that's what I'm doing here. So the image of the character is the first thing that the viewers will see. Then the next thing that will draw their attention is the title. So the title is what inform them, that make them know what the project is about. And after that, they see the contact details. All right. So they'll see the title and the venue together because the venue is a bit close to the title. So because that is close to the title, the viewers are going to see this together. And I want you guys to know that the closer you make your elements, that's the way your viewers are going to group them. All right, that's how they're going to see them in your project. Like people will group elements that are close together. In fact, we human group elements that are close together in anything we see, most especially in design. Elements that are close together, we see them as one family. All right, good. So the next thing I'm going to do is to start adding my icons. So I'm going to start with the icon from the original design. So I'm going to right click on this. All right, and I'll drop this into my project. So then I'm going to change the color of the icon by double clicking on the effect. So the designer added a layer style to the layer. So this is how the designer did it. He double clicked on the layer, and then Photoshop will now pop up the layer style asking you, hey, what do you want to do? So the designer went straight to the color overlay here and changed the color of the icon here. So I'll change this to this color here. Or if I just use orange, because I like this orange part of the, the image. So put this side here and move this down. No, that's too much. Good. So it should also be brighter. So I'm going to hit the OK button and also hit the OK button here. And I'll convert this to a smart object. So why I'm converting to a smart object is because I don't want to lose the quality of the image. So I'm going to make sure my content here are well aligned, and I'm going to zoom out, and this should move to this here. All right. Yeah. Then for the title, I'm going to also change the color of my title here, because I really want this to draw attention. So I'm going to be using warm color here. So I'm going to pick the color from the icon here, but I'm going to make this a bit brighter because of my background value here. So I'm going to make it a bit brighter to really help make that more draw attention, and also add more hue. All right, I'm going to change the hue a bit. Okay, change the hue a bit to really make the title more pop. Move this here, there. So I'm still around the color on the glove here, right? So don't think, hey, Caesar, you're going outside of the color on your character. Okay, so I'm still around that color. All right, so I'm going to select the OK button. Then I'll go to Illustrator where I have the icons. So I'm going to launch Illustrator now, and I'm going to start copying the icons. Okay, so I'll go back to Photoshop and paste this and select the smart objects. So I hit Ctrl V and I selected the smart objects and hit the OK button, and this should come here, right? Let's make it be at the center. Sorry, I'm not supposed to hold down Shift. So I'm gonna paste this again, the Enter key. I think I need to delete this one, and this should be above this. I'll activate the free transform and move this here. So they should come here like that. So why I always advise designers to always make use of icons is the use of icon is part of how you give life to your project, most especially if you're working on a project for a corporate brand. Icons are they are more like images. All right, they are more like images. So you're using them in your project is also part of how you give life to your project. So please don't joke with it. Okay, it's also part of how you make your project look interesting to the eye. All right, so I'm going to go straight to the next icon. So for the character here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add curve because I want to add depth to the image. So I'm going to click on the flip icon and push this down a bit like that. I really want to add depth to the shadow, and I'll go to my blend mode here and select luminosity. So why I hit where I selected the luminosity is because I don't want to lose the colors on the image. Okay, I'm sorry, my voice is sounding funny. All right, okay. Excuse me. All right, then yeah, I don't want to tamper with the saturation. I only want to focus on the the curve, because if you don't change your blend mode to luminosity after applying curve, is going to oversaturate the image and also apply the curve. So, but because I don't want to affect the saturation, my focus is only to play with the curve. So I decided to change my blend mode from normal to luminosity, and I hope somebody get that. All right, so this is where we are, and let's see how we can now spice up our project. So for my background here, I'm going to create drama to really make the project look more fun. So what I'll do is to select the pen tool, and I'm going to start from here and do something like a draw like a part here, and push this here like that. I'll select the direct selection tool. All right, and this way. Put this here, there. Okay, and can even move this to this side. Activate the free transform. Control T. Sorry, I should be on the move tool and hit Control T. Oh, excuse me, I'm holding shift. So I'll be on the move tool and hit Control T. This should be bigger, like that. All right, this is another way of separating the character from the background. And I'm going to hit Ctrl J again and activate the free transform. Right click and say rotate 180, and we can rotate this this here, that. So the idea here is to make the viewers focus go to the information that we have here in the project. I think my title here is looking too dull, so I'm going to go back here and pick the color from my part here and select the info BG layer and hit Ctrl T and push this up like that. Right, yeah, I'm gonna push this up like that so as to make my title more visible. Then the other thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new layer and just call this layer glow. All right, because my background here is looking too flat, so I want to give life to my background. We need to move this down a bit. So I'll select the glow layer and select the brush tool. Make sure your brush is on the soft round brush. All right, so I'm going to sample the color from the outfit of my character here and just click once. And this should come down here. So this is going to make, it's going to give life to the project. All right, so I'm just going to move this down here like that. Right, then I'll go to my curve adjustment here and then do a more applying of curve to this to really make the project pop, you know, like that. All right, so yeah, so this is where I'm going to stop, and let's see the before and after. So this is the after and this is the before. I'm sure you learned from this tutorial. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up. If there's anything you want to share with me, drop it in the comment section of this video. And if you have not subscribed, remember to hit the subscribe button and remember to click the post notification bell so you get notified when I post my tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.